first, the Prime Minister might have avoided a White House dressing down over defence spending, but that's only because we have learnt today what wasn't out there publicly when he met with the President earlier in the week. Because while on paper, Australia has made commitments to pay for nuclear submarines that won't arrive for almost a decade, we are cannibalising the current defence budget to do that. Today, The Australian revealed the brutal cuts that are being made to every other part of the defence budget to pay for a stronger Navy in the distant future. Defence is being ordered to delay projects, the paper said, slash maintenance costs and cut workforce spending in a severe austerity drive as the soaring costs of nuclear submarines and new shipbuilding programs undermine the nation's readiness for conflict. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely support our nuclear submarines and I want us to get them as quickly as possible, and I also support a stronger, larger Royal Australian Navy. But neither of these things can come at the expense of all the other jobs our armed forces might have to do, like fly combat aircraft, like train our soldiers, utilise armoured vehicles, build a new surface fleet of ships, control our borders and generally be ready to deploy as quickly and as where necessary. The head of the Air Force, Stephen Chappell, has reportedly initiated reviews of capability and sustainment costs to, quote, mitigate overspending and, quote, address budget challenges. Meaning poor old Chappell's got the government breathing down his neck to cut wherever he can to save the government's face because it's promised big on AUKUS, but right now doesn't have the budget wherewithal to deliver much at all. As well, the Chief of the Defence Forces capped the number of days that reservists can serve in any 1 year. It's at 150 days. It's down from 200. That's another cost-cutting measure. So much for the Albanese government's claim to be making the biggest ever peacetime increase in Australia's defence spending. Now, there are two problems here with these latest revelations. First, we simply don't spend enough on our military. 2% of GDP should very quickly become 3% of GDP, I'd argue pretty much immediately. And second, everything we buy is way more expensive than it should be. For instance, our coming Hunter-class frigates, well, they're currently slated to cost us almost $6 billion each. $6 billion. That is 4 times the cost of the same comparable ship out of the United States. The UK's Royal Navy ship, on which our Hunter frigates are based, reportedly cost them just $2.5 billion in Aussie dollars. So why does it cost so much more when Australia buys it? Spending more and spending better on national security is one of the most urgent challenges we face. But it's unlikely to be met by this government, which pretty good, aren't they, at making announcements, but absolutely hopeless at delivering on them.